What's going on, fellow humans and people that pretend to be human, and all the other lizard people that secretly live underneath our tunnel system? My name is Kieran. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I help people using a spiritual perspective. Now, obviously, there's no lizard people, but if there were, that would be really cool. But what there are on this planet is a bunch of idiots. That is true. I'm probably one of them. You're probably one of them. We're all probably idiots. But the idea of this specific kind of idiot that I'm going to be talking about today is me, actually. It used to be me. It's New Age spirituality. Now, New Age spirituality, very, 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 very popular. It's chocolatey. It's nice. We like it. It's feels good. It feels good because it seems like a sort of a deviation from religion, from traditional religion. But I'm here to tell you in maybe 10 minutes or so that it is religion. New Age spirituality is exactly like organized religion. And I found this out myself through experience, through being an idiot, through being somebody that was naive and had to learn, had to go through a series of ups and downs and losses. Right now, when I discovered spirituality, it was like for many people who would consider themselves spiritual, accidental. I spent my life being agnostic or atheistic, and it worked for a while, a sense anyway. And then around 23 or 24, I had some sort of awakening. Seems like a really cliche way of putting it, but it's the best word to describe it. A deep change of myself on an inner, deeper level, not a mental or emotional. It can only really be described as spiritual. Now, as I went through that, of course, I found a bunch of information, right? Spirit guides, angels, twin flames, soulmates, past lives, tarot cards, pendulums, ayahuasca, bufo, combo, astrology, numerology. You find all this stuff, and that's just, there's probably more stuff I could mention, but that's a good helping right there. And as I discovered that, of course, my brain, my perspective rather, opened up. I was able to find all this new information, and whatever I had been changing internally on my own was able to find this new stuff and able to sort of make a new character, a new persona. But unfortunately, what I realized after about a year and a half of going through these New Age spirituality emotions and taking these actions and these belief systems is I realized that it is exactly like a religion. And I realized that when I became disillusioned, just like I did with traditional religion, because they're very, very similar. The only real difference between religion and New Age spirituality is that the words have been changed. And the attitudes are basically the same, but the words, the actual language is slightly different, right? And if you doubt that, let's run through them just very quickly, okay? So New Age spirituality and religion, why are they similar? For one, gatekeepers. There are people in both that are happy to tell you what is spiritual and what is not spiritual. It's just like an organized religion. There are people, usually official people like priests and cardinals and popes and clergymen and all kinds of religious leaders that will tell you what is good and what is bad. And people rely on them for answers. And just like that, in spirituality, there's the same idea. There's gurus, there's shamans, right? There's also just regular people on YouTube like me telling you what to do and what to think. And a lot of people will pay good money to pay for some coaching clients for something like twin flames with the promise of getting together with this destined loved one, and $800 to $1,200 later, in X amount of energy and time, you're still alone or single and you don't know what the hell's going on, right? So there are gatekeepers. There's people to tell you what's good and what isn't. It's the same. Other than that, what else do we have? We have spiritual hierarchies, right? So in religion, there is, of course, and usually most organized religion, people that are kind of at the bottom, and it works its way up to somebody at the top, right? In the Catholic Church, of course, it would be the Pope. Good example right there. In New Age spirituality, you could use the gurus and the shamans and stuff like that. But in terms of hierarchy, even what we are allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do, right? So a good example of this would be when people say, they used to say, like with religious people, they would say, oh, rap music, rock music is the devil music, right? Whereas now that has all been changed slightly to just say, well, that music's low vibrational, right? It's low vibrational. listening to this kind of music. It lowers your vibration. Smoking lowers your vibration. Drinking, doing this, gossiping, eating this kind of food, it lowers your vibration. So again, just like with religion, we've created a system where there are people at the bottom who do this, and there are people at the top who do this. And sometimes that looks like a physical role, like a person in charge of something, but it also looks like attitudes, behaviors, and opinions, also on a hierarchy, like a totem pole, right? If you're at the top, you're at the top. Another great example you might not even think of, clothing. God, every single New Age person, I swear to God, they all wear the same shit. They have the deepest V-neck you could possibly find on some loose-fitting t-shirt, all the way down here. They will have a bunch of beads and all, stuff like that. And it's all like the weird clothing. And it's like geared towards spiritual people. And then in religion, of course, there's all kinds of examples of wearing, there's turbans, there's hijabs, there's yarmulkes, right? There's all kinds of stuff, right? Even priests, right? They wear their own special clothes. I don't know what it is about religion and clothes and hats and stuff, hats in particular, things that go on your head, but there's a lot of it. And even in spirituality, the constant adding of accessories and the constant clothing changes and sort of weird, like you look at them and you think like hippies, you imagine that kind of clothing. I'm sure you can have an image of it. I'm sure you've seen these types of gurus, right? They're everywhere, right? So there's clothing as well. It's a pretty good example, I think, on its own. There's lots of kind of similarities. The way that people act, right? The way that guilt has a big part of it, right? In religion, there's always this idea of guilt, that if you don't do the best that you can and don't adhere to these certain sets of guidelines, then God will have a problem with you, right? And in New Age spirituality, it's not God anymore, it's the universe, it's source, or your higher self. And it's always the same idea that you have to be this version, and if you're not, then you're low, you're below that, and you're not doing a great job. So just like in religion, New Age spirituality forces a lot of people to feel terrible about themselves because they don't know any better. They don't know how to feel good because they just transition from religion, often, at least an awareness of religion, to something else that acts just like religion, right? There's people that tell you you can't do this and you can't do that. There's people that tell you what to do, what to wear. There's this attitude of guilt. There's a refusal to change perspectives. That's also very religious in nature. We've moved away from religion because of that, right? We've drawn to New Age spirituality because it seems different, but people are also just as adamant and stubborn as any religious person I've ever met. People, you try to tell people, I don't think that, just because they're a Virgo or a Cancer, that everybody is exactly like that. And they will refuse to accept that. It will be everything about a person can be traced down to where they were born and the alignment of the stars and planets on that specific day and time. And that's who you are. That's what you are. And I think, I don't know, but that doesn't sound like that makes too much sense. It sounds like a little bit could be true, but you could also say the same thing of any grouping, right? There's the popular psychology tests, right? I forget the actual name of them, but like INFP, and you've probably seen or heard of that kind of stuff, right? There's lots of ways of grouping people, whether it's in psychology or spirituality or religion. We love grouping people. We love putting things in groups. It's our favorite thing to do as humans, is just box people in. We love boxes, right? We're like cats, I guess. But it's useless. It's useless stuff. It's just like religion. And it dawned on me, I guess, a couple of years ago that I was just as sad and unhappy with New Age spirituality as I was with religion, right? Because it takes the joy or the peace that one feels from just connecting to themselves, and you have to act like a different person. Once more, with different language and a different set of rules and different things to try, once more you are stuck in a loop. You're put into a box and you must survive in that box. And if you don't like it, then it's your problem. It's not God's or source, the universes, or the religion or the spirituality or what you've learned. It's your problem in particular. And that's the big issue that I have, is whether someone is traditionally religious in any sense, Christian or Muslim or whatever, right? Jewish, doesn't matter. Or if they're some New Age spiritualist. I end up finding that they basically have the same personalities and they basically have the same mindset and perspective. They want to find something that resonates, and as soon as they do, they stick to it and they never try to change their mind. Sounds like religion. Sounds like New Age spirituality. And that's what it is. So I started this YouTube channel with that idea in mind. I guess at the time I was new age spiritual, I suppose, but I'm not like that anymore. I'm not new age spiritual. And you know, maybe there's a certain engagement level that's been lost because of that, and maybe another one will or has been gained, but I consider myself a grounded spiritualist. There's an element of spirituality that I incorporate into my life all the time. I certainly think meditation is important. I definitely believe in some aspects of New Age spirituality, things that resonate with me, things that I can see could be true, regardless if I don't have a practical implementation of proving it. You know, like I definitely believe in the idea of a soul, right? But a soul is a word. There's no way that I can logically tell you with a definitive truth what a soul is. I can give you a perspective on it that seems grounded, and then that's all I can do. And that's what grounded spirituality is to me. It's a way of incorporating your senses and seeing what is true on the inside first. Because when I started the awakening process for myself, it wasn't because I discovered, you know, a tarot reading and I thought, well, now everything must be true. No, it wasn't like that, right? I didn't get information from the outside and fit a lifestyle around it. It was something that I internally experienced, this deep change that happened after a certain event in my life that was traumatic, I suppose. And things changed. Yes, emotions, physical, all kinds of stuff changed, but it started very deep within me. And from that, I learned things. So going back to those roots of grounded spirituality, it's important because you need to be able to verify things first through your inner being. You shouldn't rely on outside information. It changes, it's unhelpful, you change, your opinions change. If you box yourself in, which is what many New Age spiritualists do, then you are stuck, just like the religious people that you've been trying to get away from. So relying on the aspects of twin flames and karmic cycles and astrology and numerology, as true or untrue as anything might be on this planet, the most important thing you can do is stop identifying it with your ego, with your sense of being right. You know, because whether or not twin flames exist, whether or not soulmates exist, whether or not past lives exist, or if astrology is mostly shit or mostly true, it's really irrelevant to your inner peace, to your inner being, because the opinions and concepts and ideas and perspectives of other people that have put it down on the internet or on paper, who have learned it from other people or stole it from ideas, or it's all a metaphor, it's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with your ability to get up and feel good about yourself, right? You can trick yourself into feeling good, which is what a lot of New Age spirituality is. It's a lot of toxic positivity, which again, very religious, very religious. Keep that attitude of positivity at all times and, you know, make excuses, right? People love to make excuses in religion. Pray for somebody that's, you know, going through a hard time, but at the same time they go through a hard time and, you know, oh, God will help you out, and then that person dies or something, and then it's not that God killed you, it's that, you know, God was waiting for you and it was your time. So people just love to just choose, like it's convenient. Just like in religion, people choose when a truth is a truth, when it's convenient. People pick a truth and they stick to it, right? When God messes up, it's because it was supposed to happen. And when something good happens, it's because God loved you and all that good stuff, right? It's a miracle. You know, it fits the narrative. Everything fits the narrative. And just like in New Age spirituality, it's just replace the word God with the universe. But when you learn about New Age spirituality, if you're paying attention, the universe acts just like a God, and it is above. And we are all below. And we are striving to get to a certain level of perfection that we just cannot reach. And that is why I hate New Age spirituality now, because it ruined my life, really. It's not really blaming anybody in particular, it's my actions, but the system of information that existed around me did not help. I made many mistakes, listened to the wrong people, because that information was dangerous. It is dangerous. A lot of it is very dangerous and misleading. And it's important that we learn to take a step back from that. So if you're watching this video and you might be a New Age spiritualist, you might believe a lot of those concepts. Again, I'm not particularly attacking any such particular concept, not in this video anyway, maybe another video, but not this one. Anything could be true. Anything could be, absolutely. But I am encouraging those of you who follow these sort of things to take a step back from time to time and try to reconnect with what you are, because what you are is not any of those things. Twin flame, a Virgo, a soulmate, reincarnation. Wonderful, great. Might be true, might not be. But what you are, the essence that cannot be quantified into a single word, right? You're beyond all these things. You're beyond everything that you physically can see. So focus on that. What's inside of you? What is past the meat suit that you are currently inhabiting? What is inside of you? When you close your eyes and shut off your thoughts and just drift into nothingness, what is that? What is that feeling? And can you find truth from stillness and silence? What can you find within yourself that you can't find elsewhere, outside? Something to touch. What can you find inside you that's non-physical? That, to me, is true spirituality, and that is the best way to gain insight and wisdom that is not paraphrased or stolen or plagiarized from other people. You can truly verify information and wisdom from within yourself, and that's the best thing to do, because otherwise everybody is just recycling the same nonsense that's been around for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And I think at this point, humanity owes it to itself to start listening. Listen to yourself. I think maybe we'd all be surprised at how intelligent we really are.